Hi everyone, I'm Mark with Artisan Restoration, and I am over in Kalamazoo, Michigan, at a log cabin that we pre-assembled in Mankato and brought it out here a couple of years ago and sold it to some really nice people. And they've been finishing it after we put up the shell. I came out here with all the logs marked and everything. The gable end walls were built and had sheathing on them. We even built the windows in Mankato and brought them out here and got those installed in 7 days. We started with the floor here, and the owner had built that, and we stacked all the logs, put the roof on it, put the porch on it, and covered it with tar paper before we left. And they've taken over doing the chinking and everything since then. And I'm here kind of inspecting it today to see if there's any issues with powder post beetles. As you can see here, there's lots and lots of evidence that the beetles lived here at one time, but I can't see any of the evidence that that they're still here. So you can see this is obviously a new log here that we had to put in, and these are older ones here, but we had to splice some logs together. The building is 15 by 22, and I didn't have long enough logs to replace all of them, so I think this bottom log is a one-piece log, and then this guy here has been spliced together, as you can see, and a couple of them over the top of the windows have been spliced together too. And this actually was converted into a garage, and that's the reason for this big opening over on this side. They're thinking maybe putting a fireplace in here or something someday, so we didn't bother to try and enclose it. And over here's the reclaimed roofing that I got from a project in Northfield, and we included that part of our package, and they really made good use of it. From the looks on the roof, they actually tried to line up these fasteners from one sheet to the next, so it didn't have a kind of a real random pattern. Oh, and here's a little spot that was chewed out by some squirrels, I believe, because the whole building was originally covered with siding, and they found a little home right there. So let's go inside. We made our porch here out of 2x6 rafters and 6x6 posts, and we covered the entire roof with barn board sheathing that we had. It's random width. Some of it's 1x10, 1x6, 1x8, whatever we could put together. I don't know what these white spots here are, unless they've done some treatment with boron for beetles. But normally you'll see the powder from the beetles building up on the logs below the nest, and I don't see that here. So anyway, I gave them this old front door that's actually fake wood grain. It's some kind of feather painting that they used to do years ago, and it's a really cool design. And we got them a glass doorknob too. they've started on the inside, chinking, and really gotten pretty far with it. We put a half loft in it using some old 3x12s that we cut up for the floor joists here. And then we also cut up some of those into 3x4s and used them for our rafters up here. And again, we put all old barnwood on for the roof sheathing. And to make sure that the screws from the roofing didn't show through, we covered the whole roof with a 1/2 inch of OSB sheathing to make it a little thicker so the darn screws didn't poke through. And then we put an 8x8 across here to kind of act like a collar tie to hold the tops of the walls together and support the floor, because they only wanted a half loft in here. One of the other things we did, which you really can't see unless you look close, but up here there's a 3/8 inch threaded rod that goes all the way down through all the logs down to the floor, help tie the building together a little bit better than gravity, like the pioneers used for 100 years. And these windows are actually reclaimed windows that came from a company in Mankato that replaces a lot of windows, and one of their team had enough sense to keep all these old divided light windows, and he had just enough of them so that we could do this project. We got a little shorter windows over on that side and a little longer ones over on this side, and we were trying to keep them together in pairs so that each window would match the other one in the same wall. And actually, some of them have the old glass in it, which the wavy glass, which proves how old they are, for one thing. And anyway, we just made them into single hung windows. The top sash doesn't actually operate, just the lower sash does. And that one's a little sticky. And then the last window that we had that didn't have a matching window for it ended up in the loft up there. So anyhow, it, I think, turned out really great. They're doing a great job of the chinking. They took on the staining and got 2 coats of stain on it that still needs to have a coat of clear coat over the top. And here you can see one of the logs that we had to splice together, and we used 1/2 inch threaded rods to secure that splice and hold it together. And there might even be another splice over there, over the window. But anyhow, they're doing a really, really great job of putting this thing together. And my crew did a really great job of assembling it in just over a week. So they got the deck to do here yet. We just put scrap boards and stuff on it for them to get in and out. And they've painted the windows. Well, I think we primed them, but they painted them, and we had to replace a lot of the glazing on these old things. So we got that taken care of, and they ended up with some really authentic looking windows for this old cabin. So anyhow, I was in Michigan this weekend to carve pumpkins with my grandkids, and I just had to stop over and check it out. So thanks for watching, folks.